Before they became our cuddly companions sleeping on soft couches, dogs were wild hunters, fierce, free, and full of instinct. Deep inside every pup, no matter how adorable, lives the echo of their ancient ancestors, the wolves, and that wild whisper still guides everything they do today. Imagine this: a dog circling 3 times before lying down. You might think it's just his silly habit, but in the wild, it was survival. Wolves would circle to flatten grass and check for snakes before resting. Even your little Chihuahua or Golden Retriever carries that coded memory inside their DNA. The way dogs tilt their heads when we talk, that's not just cute. It's their way of analyzing human tone, reading micro-expressions, and connecting emotionally. Scientists discovered that dogs can understand more than 160 words. But beyond vocabulary, they feel. When you're sad, they know. Not because of what you say, but because of how you breathe, how your heartbeat changes, and how your scent subtly shifts. From their powerful sense of smell, 100,000 times stronger than ours, to their ability to sense storms before they happen. Dogs are walking miracles of nature. They can detect diseases like cancer or diabetes through scent alone. Even before doctors know, a loyal dog can smell danger in its owner's body chemistry. But their secret life isn't just about instincts and biology. It's about emotions. Dogs experience joy, jealousy, grief, and love. In fact, MRI scans show that when a dog sees its owner, the same brain region lights up as when humans feel love. Their loyalty is not learned. It's wired. Every bark, every wag, every glance hides a code, a piece of their ancient wildness mixed with unconditional affection. That's the secret. Dogs aren't just trained pets. They are emotional mirrors of humanity, ancient souls that chose to walk beside us through centuries. So next time your dog stares out the window at night, remember, he isn't just watching the darkness. Somewhere in his heart, he's hearing the faint call of the wild, a call he once answered long before humans ever learned to love him back. The hidden language. How dogs speak without words. Before words ever existed, dogs mastered the art of silent communication. They speak through their eyes, tails, ears, and even the rhythm of their breathing. A secret language humans are only beginning to understand. Every movement your dog makes has meaning. That little tail wag, it's not always a sign of happiness. When the wag is fast and loose, it means joy. But if it's slow and stiff, that's tension, a warning. A dog wagging its tail to the right is feeling confident, but a wag to the left shows uncertainty or fear. Yes, their tails are like emotional compasses. Then there's the gaze, that deep, soulful stare that melts hearts. When your dog locks eyes with you, something magical happens inside both of you. Your body releases oxytocin, the love hormone, the same chemical that bonds mothers to their babies. But in the wild, a stare wasn't love. It was dominance. That's why some dogs avoid eye contact, not out of guilt, but out of respect. Even their ears are tiny mood readers. Forward ears mean alertness. Relaxed ears show calmness. Pinned back ears whisper fear or submission. Every flick, every twitch is a silent sentence in their emotional diary. And scent. Oh, the scent. Dogs communicate through invisible signatures left everywhere. When they sniff another dog's urine or paw marks, they're not just smelling. They're reading messages, age, gender, health, even mood. It's like their version of social media, but through scent trails instead of screens. Their language also includes sound. A high-pitched bark says excitement, while a low growl means warning. A soft whine could mean anxiety, or simply "I miss you." They even mimic human speech rhythms to connect with us. It's their way of saying, "I'm listening and I understand you." So, the next time your dog tilts his head when you speak, don't just smile, answer him. Because he's trying, with every fiber of his being, to bridge the gap between species. In their silent world, every glance, wag, and sigh is a poem written in emotion, not words. The more we learn to listen, the more we realize dogs never needed to talk. Their hearts have always done the speaking. The emotional bond. Why dogs love humans so deeply? There's a reason why when you come home, your dog acts like you've returned from a lifetime away, even if you were gone just 10 minutes. That burst of joy, the wagging tail, the sparkling eyes, it's not just excitement, it's love in its purest form. A kind of love no words can define, and no betrayal can break. Scientists say dogs are the only species that evolved specifically to love humans. When our ancestors tamed wolves thousands of years ago, something extraordinary happened. Both species rewired each other's hearts. Dogs learned to trust, and humans learned to feel companionship on a level they'd never known before. When a dog looks into your eyes, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, floods both your brains. It's the same chemical that makes a mother bond with her newborn. That's why your dog feels like family, because biologically he is. But it's more than hormones. Dogs have emotional memories. They remember your tone when you were kind, your silence when you were hurt, your laughter when you were happy. To them, you're not just a caretaker, you're their world. Your presence is safety. Your scent is home. They don't love us because we feed them or shelter them. They love us because, in their eyes, we're their pack, and loyalty is written into their soul. That's why even abandoned dogs wait for their owners at bus stops, train stations, or empty houses, long after the world has moved on. It's not stupidity, it's devotion. The kind that humans often fail to match. Dogs don't judge. They don't hold grudges. They don't care about your mistakes, your money, or your looks. They see only your heart. That's why even the coldest person can be melted by a dog's touch. Because dogs speak to the part of us that still remembers how to love without conditions. Maybe that's the secret to their bond. Dogs never ask for perfection. They just ask for presence. And in return, they give us something priceless, a love that never fades. Even after they're gone, the super senses, how dogs experience the world beyond human limits. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine seeing the world not through your eyes, but through your nose, your ears, your skin. That's how dogs live, in a world painted not in colors, but in scents, vibrations, and frequencies far beyond our understanding. A dog's nose is a universe of its own. Where humans have about 5 million scent receptors, dogs have over 300 million. That means while you might smell a cup of coffee, your dog smells every grain of it, the soil it grew in, the person who packed it, even the journey it took to reach your home. Their world is a layered story of smells, a living diary written in invisible ink. Dogs can detect one drop of blood in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. They can smell your emotions, Literally, when you're anxious, your body releases certain chemicals that your dog can detect instantly. That's why they sit beside you quietly, even before you realize you're upset. Then comes their hearing, a power beyond imagination. Dogs can hear frequencies up to 65,000 hertz, while humans stop at 20,000. That means they hear the buzz of electricity, the footsteps of someone walking to houses away, or even the faintest thunder miles before we do. No wonder they react before the storm arrives. They live in a future we can't yet hear. Their vision, though not colorful like ours, is tuned for motion and darkness. Dogs see in shades of blue and yellow, but at night, their eyes shine with supernatural clarity. They can spot the smallest movement in the shadows, instincts of the hunter still alive beneath the surface. And then there's their sixth sense, that mysterious intuition that science can't fully explain. The countless stories of dogs who saved owners before earthquakes, sensed danger before accidents, or found their way home across hundreds of miles. These are not coincidences. They are the echoes of an ancient wisdom still breathing within them. To live like a dog is to live aware of the unseen, the unheard, and the unspoken. Their world is magic disguised as nature, and their senses are the bridge between our world and theirs. Guardians of emotion. How dogs heal human hearts. There's a reason hospitals, war zones, and lonely homes all have one silent healer, a dog. Without speaking a single word, they mend wounds that even medicine can't reach. Their therapy is simple: presence, patience, and pure love. In hospitals around the world, therapy dogs sit beside patients, fighting pain and fear. When their soft fur brushes against trembling hands, heart rates drop, anxiety fades, and the body begins to heal faster. Scientists have proven that spending just 15 minutes with a dog releases serotonin and dopamine, the happiness chemicals our brains crave. But beyond science, there's something deeper, something spiritual. Because when a dog lays its head on your lap, it's not just comfort, it's understanding. They sense what you can't say. They know when your silence is heavy, when your laughter is forced, when your heart is breaking quietly inside. And they don't try to fix it. They just stay. For soldiers returning from war, dogs are more than pets. They're anchors. PTSD patients who can't sleep for years find peace beside a loyal canine who guards them through the night. These dogs wake their owners before nightmares become screams. They remind broken humans that love is still real, even in prisons, where regret and anger often harden hearts. The presence of a dog can melt years of pain. Inmates who've forgotten kindness rediscover it through caring for a dog. It's as if dogs hold a mirror, not of our sins, but of our potential to love again. Every day, somewhere in the world, a dog saves a life, not by biting, barking, or fighting, but by simply being there for the lonely elderly woman who hasn't spoken to anyone in weeks, for the child battling cancer, for the man who's lost everything. Dogs become invisible angels, wrapped in fur and faithfulness. Maybe that's their greatest secret. They don't heal us with magic, but with something far greater: unconditional love, a kind of love that expects nothing, yet gives everything. Because when humans lose hope, dogs lend theirs quietly, selflessly, and endlessly. Call of loyalty, stories of dogs who never gave up. There are few things in this world more powerful than a dog's loyalty. It's not a feeling for them, it's a purpose. They don't love halfway, and they don't quit, even when the world forgets. Their loyalty isn't measured in days or years. It lasts a lifetime, and sometimes even beyond. In Japan, there was a dog named Hachiko. Every single day, he walked his owner to the train station and waited there until evening to walk him back home. One day, his owner never returned. He had died suddenly at work, but Hachiko didn't know. So, he waited, day after day, year after year. For 9 long years, he stood at the same spot, through snow, rain, and loneliness, waiting for the man who would never come back. When he finally passed away, people found him in the same place, still waiting. That's not just loyalty, that's love in its purest form. In another corner of the world, a dog named Captain kept watch over his owner's grave for 7 years. No one trained him, no one told him where to go, yet every night, he found his way to the cemetery and slept beside the one person who once called him family. Even death couldn't break that bond. And then there are countless nameless heroes, dogs who run into burning houses, who refuse to leave wounded soldiers, who travel hundreds of miles just to find their way back home. They don't understand words like duty or honor, but they live them better than most humans ever could. A dog's heart doesn't know betrayal, even when betrayed. That's their curse and their gift. They keep loving, even when the world turns cruel. Maybe that's why people say, if you want to know what true love is, look into the eyes of a dog who's been waiting for you. You'll see loyalty that never asked why, only whispered, "I'm still here." Because for a dog, loyalty isn't about staying beside you when it's easy. It's about refusing to leave, even when it hurts. The hidden intelligence. How dogs understand more than we think. Behind those playful eyes and wagging tails lies a mind far sharper and deeper than we imagine. Dogs aren't just emotional beings. They're thinkers, problem solvers, and silent observers who understand far more than words can say. Scientists once believed dogs followed only instinct. But when researchers began testing them, what they found was astonishing. Dogs could not only learn over 160 human words, some, like border collies, understood more than 1,000. But beyond vocabulary, dogs grasp meaning. They can tell when you're sad, pretending, or even lying. Their intelligence is emotional and intuitive, something machines will never match. When you point your finger at something, your dog looks where you point, not at your hand. That's a rare cognitive skill even chimpanzees struggle with. It shows that dogs have evolved to read humans. They study our expressions, tones, and even our silence to understand what we need before we say it. Ever notice your dog pacing before you leave, or sitting by the door before you arrive? That's not coincidence. It's pattern recognition. Dogs can sense time through changes in scent and sound. When your scent starts fading at home, they know you've been gone long enough and it's time for you to return. Some dogs have been trained to detect diseases, from cancer to COVID-19, simply by smell. Others can predict epileptic seizures minutes before they happen, giving their owners precious time to prepare. Their minds aren't just reactive, they're perceptive. But intelligence doesn't always mean tricks or obedience. Sometimes it's in the quiet choices they make, like comforting a crying child, bringing you their favorite toy when you're sad, or sitting silently beside you when you've lost someone. That's not training, that's awareness. It's as if dogs have evolved not just beside humans, but for humans, understanding our emotions, routines, and even our flaws better than we do ourselves. So when you look at your dog and wonder what's going on in that furry head, know this: they're not just seeing you, they're studying you, understanding you, and, above all, choosing to love you anyway. The Untold Adventures. How dogs explore and experience the world. Every walk for a dog is not just a routine, it's an adventure, a journey into a world full of stories only they can read. While we see trees, roads, and people, dogs see maps of memories, marked in scent, sound, and feeling. Each sniff tells them who passed by, when, and how they felt. To us, it's just a lamppost. To them, it's a library. When your dog stops to sniff every corner, he's not wasting time. He's gathering information. A single breath can reveal whether another dog was male or female, healthy or sick, happy or anxious. Their world is like a living novel, and every scent is a new chapter. That's why pulling them away too quickly from a sniffing spot is like closing a book before they finish reading it. Dogs don't just explore through smell. They sense energy, the excitement of a park, the calm of a lake, the tension in a stranger. Their paws feel vibrations in the ground. Their ears catch distant echoes, and their hearts absorb every bit of the world around them. Have you ever watched a dog at the beach? The moment their paws touch the sand, something ancient awakens. They chase waves not just for fun, but because it triggers their ancestral memory, the thrill of movement, the rhythm of freedom. Each gust of wind carries 1,000 smells, and each splash is a reminder that life is meant to be felt. Even at home, dogs explore. That tilt of their head when they hear a new sound, that cautious sniff when you bring something unfamiliar. It's curiosity, pure and innocent. Unlike humans, dogs never grow tired of discovery. Every day is new, every walk an expedition. In their adventures, they don't search for gold or glory. They search for connection with nature, with you, with life itself. That's what makes their journey so beautiful. Because to a dog, the world isn't ordinary. It's a playground of wonder, waiting to be explored, one sniff at a time. Circle of life, joy, aging, and saying goodbye. Every dog's life is a short, beautiful poem written in joy, loyalty, and quiet goodbyes. From the first wag of a puppy's tail to the slow steps of an aging friend, their journey is a reflection of time itself, fleeting, fragile, yet full of meaning. When a puppy enters your home, it's like a burst of sunlight. Everything becomes brighter, louder, more alive. The sound of tiny paws on the floor, the excited barks, the sleepless nights, they're all part of the beginning of a story you'll never forget. In those early years, dogs live like children, playful, curious, full of wonder. They don't worry about tomorrow. They only know now. But time, gentle yet cruel, moves quickly for them. One day, that playful puppy grows slower. The once bright eyes turn softer, wiser. The jumps become shorter, the naps longer. Yet even as their bodies grow old, their love doesn't fade. It deepens. They still follow you from room to room, not because they need to, but because they want to spend every remaining moment with the one they love most. And then comes the hardest part, saying goodbye. It's the moment every dog owner dreads, but knows will come. The day when those loyal eyes look up one last time, silently saying, thank you for being my whole world. They don't fear death. They only worry about leaving you behind. But here's the truth few understand. Dogs never really leave. They live in the quiet corners of your heart, in the jingle of a collar you still keep, in the sound of footsteps you sometimes imagine, in the empty spot on the couch that still feels full. Grief never truly fades, but it transforms. One day, the tears turn into smiles when you remember their funny habits, their silly faces, their warmth. You realize they didn't just share your life, they shaped it. Every dog teaches one lesson before they go. Love deeply, forgive quickly, live fully, and never waste a single day waiting for happiness, because happiness is already beside you, forever connected. The eternal bond between dogs and humans. Even after they're gone, dogs never really leave us. Their footprints may fade from the floor, but never from the soul. There's something eternal about the bond between a dog and a human. Something beyond flesh, beyond life, beyond time itself. When you whisper their name years later and still feel that warmth inside, that's not memory, that's connection. Dogs love in a way that defies death. Their spirit lingers in the spaces they filled with joy. The corner where they used to sleep. The path they once walked beside you. The silence that still carries their breath. Scientists can measure a heartbeat, but they can't measure what happens when two souls meet. One human, one canine, and choose to walk through life together. That bond doesn't break when the body does. It transforms. Some people say they still hear the soft jingling of a collar, or feel a gentle brush at night when no one's there. Maybe it's imagination, or maybe love just finds a new way to stay. Dogs teach us the greatest truth of all. That love is not about possession. It's about presence. They don't cling, they don't demand, they simply are. And even when their time ends, the love they leave behind keeps living in us, shaping who we are, softening who we become. Every time you rescue a stray, pet a lonely dog, or open your heart again after loss, a part of your old friend smiles somewhere. Because love, once shared, never dies. It just passes forward from one heartbeat to another. Perhaps that's why humans and dogs were destined to find each other. We needed someone who could teach us unconditional love. They needed someone who could understand it. Together, we completed a circle that's been turning for thousands of years. From the first wolf who sat by a campfire to the dog sleeping at your feet tonight.